I need is just someone like you, someone like you, someone like you. Yeah, I just need someone like you, someone like you. Yeah, I just need someone like you, someone like you.
Welcome to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to build a house in Bloxburg. This is going to be a beginner's guide from start to finish. We're going to build the same house and I'm going to be telling you all my secrets and all my tips that will make you just love your build at the end of the day and hopefully make you a better builder. Please remember, and it's so important, not every house is going to turn out perfect the way you want it, especially when you're just starting out. I look back at some of my old builds and absolutely hate them now, but you get better with time. The more you build, the more you practice. It really makes a difference. And also watching speed builds and tutorials just for some inspiration and ideas can also really help. But let's get straight into build mode here. So this is going to be a couple of videos that I'm going to split this part up into. I just don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much information at once. So today we're going to be focusing on the house layout, and no, that does not just include walls. House layouts are really important because it not only gives you the shape of your build, but it includes the windows, getting the door placements. You're looking for the flow of your build, which will help when you decorate your house. But it's also really important for the roofing and the shape, because that really makes your exterior, and I always believe that the exterior is what's more important, because that's what people look at, that's what you look at first, and it really determines whether you like your build or not. So today we're going to be focusing on the house layout, but I'm also going to be teaching you guys where everything is, what tools we're using, how everything works. Now this is going to be a 2-story build that I'm making, but if you don't have the multiple floors Game Pass, don't worry about it. You can just follow along and build a 1-story house. Maybe I can do, if you guys want it, like a no Game Pass how to build your house video, but for now we're just going to do your typical Bloxburg house. So if you're wanting to move in build mode, you're using the WASD keys on your keyboard, or you can use the arrows, but I just think the letters work better. And if you're wanting to zoom in and out, you're using I and O. Please bear in mind I'm on MacBook, so it's a bit different. If you've got, I'm using a touchpad. If you've got an actual mouse, you can just scroll on your mouse and it'll bring you in and out. The keys can be very different, but it's super easy to figure that out, and Bloxburg has a wee help tab so you know which works. But yeah, let's get into the actual building process. So over here we're just going to click on the build tab, and you can see there's so many menus to go through, but we're just going to go over to walls, and you can move your mouse about on the grid freely for how to build, and you can see it kind of snaps in on the corners. Unfortunately we can't like place walls where we want quite yet, but that's alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward, and when building a house you always want to leave a gap at the front here, because you want to be able to landscape so your build doesn't look flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in about 6, which is a bit much. If you go just about 5, that can be totally fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to start getting the layout of our build and making sure the layout is nice and that it works. So I'm just going to go straight in the middle here. Doesn't matter too much if it's not perfect, because you can move the little mailbox and stuff about. Fortunately you can't delete them, but you can move them about. So I'm going to show you guys the reference picture that I'm working off of today, just so you have a kind of idea as to what I'm doing. So I think I'm actually going to go here, and all I'm doing is I'm clicking left click, and you're going to drag the wall along to where you want it, and then let go, and that will place it. So I'm going to focus on the front of my build and getting the shape that I want. It's really important that you get a nice shape because it really does make a difference in your build. It's also really important that you don't make your build too big because that can really take away from it, and it also makes it really difficult when you try to decorate your build because it is really just too big. So this is kind of like the front shape I've got here. It's really basic but it's not boxy, so I'm kind of giving it that shape that we're looking for. Now I'm going to come over to the right hand side here, and you can see these two little arrows that moves up and down floors. So if you've got the basement game pass, you can go down, and if you're looking to go up with multiple floors, just hit the top arrow. And we are going to finish the front kind of shape, the front walls here. So I'm just going to put this in the same place just to kind of give it connect, and we're going to do this, and then I'm going to bring it back so that I can put a roof there and bring it along here. So that's kind of going to connect it. And then over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back 4 because I'm planning to have like a kind of little roof here. And there we go. So this is kind of what I've got so far. You can press H to get rid of the grid if you want to just like look at the kind of shape the way it is. But yeah, so that's kind of like the front walls. So for now I'm just going to come out of here and I'm going to go and focus on the roofing a little bit. So we're not going to do too much of the landscaping because I don't want to do that. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but sometimes that kind of helps with the layout. So I know that I want to have my driveway here. So to place the floors is you're going to go in build mode again. We're going to go in the floor tab and we're going to go here. Now you have this little option at the bottom and it says automatic placement, so you can press T to turn that off and on. So you don't want it to be automatic because then that's kind of looking for a room. So you want it to be manual placement, so make sure it's turned on to that, and then it means you can go and just place where you want. You just click in the corners and then double click or right click to place the floor. And then what I'm going to do is I know that I want a little porch to be here, so before I place my roofs I'm going to go into build mode and then pillars, and it gives you lots of options. I'm just going to take this little simple one here and I am going to go and place roofs like so. Now this is on the large grid that I've just placed them, but if we go over on the right you can see this sort of grid mode. You can click it once and that gets it on the medium grid, so you can move it about a bit more, or you can put it on the small grid and that lets you move it anywhere. So I'm just going to put it in small and I'm just going to line these up so they look a bit nicer, like so, just so it looks a bit more pleasing. And then so this is kind of what I mean. I've actually built this a bit closer than what I wanted, but we're just going to go with it because it'll be alright. But really, when you're doing this, it can be a bit much. So I think I've made this just a tiny bit closer than what I wanted, but then again that's what I mean. If put it any closer then I'd have had no room here to landscape, but I've still got some, and that'll make all the difference. But you can see I've got my front walls, I've got this kind of outline for where I'm going to put some roofs in a minute, and then I've put in the floor, so I know this is my driveway, this is my path, and then where the grass is where I'm going to landscape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in build mode and then we're going to click on roofs, and it's the same kind of situation. So a good roof combination to use is the gable roof and the slanted roof. They work really well together and they can make your build look 100 times better just by using them. But really any of the roofs work, just choose one to your liking. So I've picked the gable roof, and again, like the flooring, you've got the automatic manual placement, so I'm just going to hit T and then I'm going to press H so that I have my grid back, and I'm going to just click kind of like the walls and the flooring. Left click just so it can place. Now, a way to add detail is just simply by putting your grid in small like we have and using these little arrows. So this one at the side will pull it out and pull it back in, and this one can lift it up, so it kind of just makes it a little bit thicker, so you've got a bit more detail and it doesn't just look as flat. So we've got this, and then you can use this to move it up and down a bit. So I'm just going to move mine down a little bit, and then I'm going to double click, and there we go. So I've got a roof on my build. Now I'm going to go up here, and this is kind of what I meant. So yes, I've got this, but roofing's also very important. So what I'm going to do is bring this down, and I know I want to use the gable roof here so that it looks all well. Now I'm pretty sure, so if I've got two here, I've got a roof coming out here. Sometimes it's just like kind of a little bit like a puzzle when you're trying to figure it out. So I've got this shape here, and then I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to do this so that the roof matches, and I've done it the wrong way, so I'm just going to fix that, and there we go. So I've kind of got this roof shape here, and then I'm just going to lift this up just to give me some shape, and there we go. Right click, and then I've kind of got this shape here, and then I'm kind of seeing this kind of form together, so I'm just going to do it like so. I'm going to bring this into here, so, and I'm just going to move it a little bit down so it kind of goes in smoother here, and press that. And then over here, okay, I'm seeing this is where sometimes it's just a little bit of uneven and you really need to think about what you're doing. So I'm just going to do this, and again here we are, perfectly aligns, and this is kind of giving us a roof shape here.
Kinda simple, kinda wishful about things, and you're kinda simple, but like a pistol, you fire. Sometimes you get under my skin like a lover, and sometimes you don't wanna come back 'cause you'd rather stay out with another, talking to strangers and make out spontaneously. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about the drunk nights, bragging in the glory. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself, and the way of how you dwell, I get it. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself, and the way of how you dwell. Don't you get it? You do it right. Hold me tight when I need it, and you always like what I like we know.
This is where you need to do this first so you can kind of get the outside shape, so you know where you're going to put the walls on the interior.
Sometimes you get under my skin like a lover, and sometimes you don't wanna come back 'cause you'd rather stay out with another, talking to strangers and make out spontaneously. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself, and the way of how you dwell.
have to do is finish off the placement. So we've got all this space up here, but as you can see, some of the walls kind of come through, so sometimes you can delete the roof and then put it back and it should be fine, because as you can see on this side it's not going through, but on this side it is, and that's because the wall here doesn't go further than the roof like this wall does, which can be annoying, but it's just kind of the way the shapes worked out. So this is when you need to look at, right, so I want it to be like that, but it's not going to work out, so how can I cover the hideousness up? And that's just when you don't use that space. So because of this, I'm going to want to put a wall there, a window there, sorry. So in my head right now I'm trying to think, so I want a window there, but I don't want that to be shown. So what I can do is I'll leave this space, but I might just go and put a floor here just for a minute, and this is kind of where basic shapes can help. So I've clicked in basic shapes, I'm going to click on here, I'm going to bring this in, place my little basic shape, and then I'm going to bring it up and like so. So that has very helpfully covered up the horribleness. Like so. So it's just kind of perfect. It hides that really bad roof situation that I have going on, and all I'm going to do is get rid of the flooring for now. And there we go, I've kind of hid the back of this roof and I've hid the side there, so I can still put windows there and I can still put them there. I'll just paint that wall like blue and then that will be totally fine, it won't cause me any issues. And yeah, so we've got this space and then we've got all of down here, which works perfectly fine. Now for the layout, sometimes it changes, but the thing you want to do is get your stairs and put them into place.
We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decipher how your mind works. Yeah, you leave me wondering what it's like to feel your skin. I will keep on trying till you give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more. You leave me hanging, begging for more. Think that I'm addicted to this, can't resist to be a little risky and go for it, cause I want you close. I'm so exposed when you're keeping me wondering. You know I'd do anything to be in your arms again. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more, talking to you. Here we go again, staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. I just wanna let you know I could go for this, no more tricks. We could take things slow. Say you think about it too. When the lights go out and there's no doubt that I should be with, that I should be. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, baby, just give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more talking to you, and here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been.
And there we go. So this is what we've got done for today. We have made our own custom house, which I think looks quite well. The only thing that sticks out to me is that, but I can maybe look at some other solutions to fix that. And then we've got a layout for a 2-story house with doors. That's what I was meaning, kind of sometimes you need to add the doors to kind of finish your layout, and other times I'll add windows to kind of do that, but I think I'm going to leave the windows for the next part. We're going to leave the landscaping, and in part 2, which will be out in my next upload day, I will finish off the exterior and we will have a cute house. And yes, we will also decorate it, but that will just be a video on its own. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. You guys mean the world, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye.
Pushing the past again, no. You know my little triggers keep on triggering.